let's talk a little bit about failed persuasion. And let's talk a little bit about failed persuasion with the worst of intentions, while masquerading and pretending that you have good intentions. Here's exactly what I mean. So as of right now, there is this large political discussion about cutting gas prices, gasoline prices in my country, petrol fuel prices, because the costs have increased. And knowing a couple of things, this is very, very important when it comes to this particular discussion. Number one, the entire gas price in my country, and I'm going to use just regular gasoline, although I know there are people who drive diesel fueled engines, but for the sake of simplicity, I'm going to go with regular gasoline, petrol, for this discussion, although it certainly extends to diesel. Anyway, half of the price are fees, taxes, and surcharges to the state. Half of the price. So let's say, for the sake of simplicity, that the gas prices are $10 a gallon. Insane, right? Insanely high. 5 out of those $10 per gallon are taxes, fees, and surcharges that you have to pay to the state, to the government. Are you telling me that cutting down on paying on these taxes and surcharges and fees are going to hurt the economy long term when the government is already taxing us highly from other sources of income? Doesn't matter, your capital gains, your wealth tax, your fortune tax, the taxes on food, the income tax, all sorts of taxes. And also knowing that the government spends a ridiculous amount of money on climate change initiatives, arts, all kinds of nonsensical stuff that doesn't make any sense at all. So, given a few things here. One, how the gasoline prices, how 50% of the gasoline prices already go to the state. And number two, knowing that the state spends a ridiculous amount of money on horse shit that doesn't improve the state of the country. And by the way, I'm not saying that this applies to my country specifically. I'm actually asserting the notion that this applies to virtually any country in the Western world, basically. There might be a few exceptions, but basically in the Western world, in the Western hemisphere, that's pretty much the de facto state of every single country. So, knowing that, if you slash those ridiculous surcharges and fees and taxes in as part of the gas prices, you slash them by 70%, then there's a little less money coming into the government. Whoa, ho, that's so horrible. What you can also do is, of course, slash the insane spending on nonsense, on bullshit, on things that doesn't improve the country's things that doesn't improve the country's situation. If you want to finance studies on whether the Vikings were transgender or gay, that's a ridiculous spending of government money. If you want to fund studies on how women's groups in Zambia deal with climate changes, those are also ridiculous government spendings. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. By the way, I'm just making this up. I don't know this to be a fact, although I kind of hope that I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. I think there certainly are adjacent and related government spendings on these particular subjects. So, you can slash in half, I would argue, the taxes and surcharges that you pay to the state. So that the total gas price is only $7.50 per gallon. Simultaneously, you can reduce the ridiculous government spending on nonsense. Now, those who oppose and protest the price cuts on gasoline are the same sort of people who defend these ridiculous government spendings. And they argue They argue in their defense of keeping the gas prices as is that, oh, I'm going to warn you, for the goodness of the nation, we're going to have to take more money out of our budget. And that means that we need to increase our taxes because we're so dumb and, incapable of seeing things for what they are that we can't reduce our own spending on nonsense. Think about it. It's persuasion failure 101. People see right past it. Who do you think you are, Mr. Politician? And it doesn't really matter whether I'm talking about my country, about any single country in the world. People know, because there's one such thing as the internet, right? So when people know, you might as well just stop lying. Just stop lying, stop being dishonest, stop pretending that you want what's best for the country, because we all know what you want. Really, you want what's best for your own wallet. We all know that. Anyway, getting back to the point here. If you argue in defense of something, and people know that you're omitting the truth, in this case, you're omitting the government spending, then you're going to appear disingenuous, two-faced, and really you're just going to appear like a like the actual bald-faced liar that you are. Persuasion failure 101. Be honest, be authentic instead. If you want to learn more about persuasion, then get subscribed to my email list. The link to do so is in the subscription wherever you're watching or listening to this, and I'll see you there.